Redditors with toddlers, what's the most recent illogical breakdown they've had? Please subscribe, like and leave a comment. Much love to you all. I slowly walked up the stairs with my son trailing behind me. I heard him wailing. When I reached the top, turn around and see him full-blown sobbing, face down on the stairs. Unbeknownst to me, we had been racing and I won. It's a trap. You're always racing. You can never win, even if they aren't walking. And don't even think about opening that door first, or pushing the elevator button first. I learned that one the hard way. This one. Hell hath no fury like pressing the damn elevator button before you're 3-year-old. He felt bad because he couldn't marry my cat. We asked why, and he said, because she can't dance, and she would get stepped on. He was really upset. One threw a fit, because the other flushed her own pee down the toilet. Then a fight broke out over whose pee it really was, and who should have flushed it. Pee on the pee, to claim it as your own. Assert dominance. Friends of mine have 2 toddlers, boy and a slightly younger girl. While on a car ride, the boy pretended he had a lollipop, yes, an imaginary lollipop, and refused to share it with his sister. It escalated to the point that the girl was bawling her eyes out, screaming for him to share this non-existent lollipop, and the mother screaming at the son to share the damn lollipop. Edit. Woke up to this being my most upvoted comment and gold. Was not expecting this at all. She's a bit young for words, so I'm going off wriggles and tears, but she wanted to be put down, but when I put her down she cried and asked to be picked up, but when picked up would try to wriggle free of my grasp. Repeated this a few times, until I realized I couldn't win. Sounds like my cat. My daughter cried, because she couldn't wear her red shoes. My wife gave in, and put them on her. My daughter then threw an absolute fit, because she was wearing red shoes. Oh my word, my 3-year pulls this crap. Why? Why? My daughter does the same thing. She gets up on the pony and then cries when the pony moves. She cries when we bring her down because she wants to get on the pony. Thankfully the ponies/horses are my wife's things. I know nothing about them except to laugh. This one is simple. It is about testing who is in control, not about the shoes. Never give in to a tantrum or crying for something. They are smarter than you think. The more you give him, the more it will happen. My 2-year-old had a meltdown because he wanted to wear 2 pairs of shoes at once, not one or the other. I thought I'd be clever and let him wear one of each, but that just ended up in him lying on the floor face down screaming into the floorboards. Why am I laughing so hard at this? Son, 2 years, almost 3, woke up last week at 3 AM, screaming that he wants to go outside and come inside his own self. Over more than an hour of working through it, I came to understand that he had been dreaming that I had brought him inside, and he didn't want to come inside yet, so he assumed I knew exactly what the problem was, since I was the cause of it. I tried to rationalize with him that it was dark outside and we should go back to bed. No dice. Toddlering intensifies. So ultimately my wife, who had woken up in the midst of the tantrum, and I took him out to the balcony at the back of the house and let him see that it was dark and ice cold outside. Then he came back inside, sniffled, and went back to sleep. She was playing with her food when it was time to clean the table, so I told her if she didn't eat her garlic knot, I would. She cried at the thought, so I went to grab it, and she took it from me, yelled mine, and ate it. She then cried that her garlic knot was gone. I too cry when I no longer have a garlic knot. Also me, I'm now contemplating crying that I have no garlic knots. You and I need to get together and cry over a big plate of garlic knots. I pulled her chair out to enable her to get up to the table, too far. Then she pulled off her own socks during her tantrum. Tantrum 2 ensues because my socks. My son tried to sneak a piece of chocolate and got busted and just screamed that was not part of my plan. Edit. Wow, thank you so much for my very first metal ever, kind stranger. That was definitely not part of my plan, but I'm very appreciative. This is me whenever my plans go awry. One of my friend's kids had a full-on meltdown because she hadn't eaten her ice cream yet. Not that she couldn't eat it. She could. It was right in front of her. It was her dessert. but the fact that she had to go through the process of eating the ice cream in order to get the end point of having eaten the ice cream and being happy seemed intolerable to her. Watching little humans come to grips with cause and effect is mind-blowing. My son freaked out, screamed, and cried for 40 minutes because he wanted to eat rice with a rice bowl full of rice directly in front of him. No, you don't get it. I want to eat rice, not have a bowl of rice in front of me. Took my son to the park. He goes on the climbing frame and down the slide, then throws the mother of all hissy fits kicking at the slide. I kneel down all that like and calm him down, then ask, why has kicking the slide? His answer, I hate it, it's too fun. He reminds me of my brother when we were little. He has autism and certain sensations or feelings can really set him off or put him in a bad mood. One day we discovered static electricity. He then asked me to make the slide more fun by somehow removing the static electricity by going down first. He also said something similar like I hate that it's so fun. I'm autistic and honestly that reminded me of me lol. Too much stimulation can be jarring, even pleasant emotions. I often have a breakdown after a really good day because it was too much for me to handle. My toddler dropped her fry on the floor, so I picked it up and threw it away and went to hand her the container to get another out. Cue the screams. She runs over to the trash because it didn't matter that there was a whole container full of fries. She wanted that fry that had fallen on the floor. Today my niece threw a tantrum because she didn't want more pasta. We proceeded to let the dog eat the leftovers and she threw a second tantrum because she didn't want the dog to eat it either. Wow, how bad is the pasta you made if she didn't want the dog to have to suffer through it either? I know I make terrible pasta that no one other than me can eat. 8/8 can relate. Every time it's bath time my 3-year cries and screams that the water is too hot and she wants it cold. This starts as soon as she goes in the bathroom and before she even touches the water. After about 2 months of her crying about the water being too hot, I finally gave her a cool bath, and within 30 seconds of her being in the tube she said, well, maybe I want a little warm water. No complaints since about her water being too hot. Bath time every day. 5 minutes of fighting to not take a bath. Once in the bath they don't want to get out. I mean, as an adult I never want to get in the shower, but once I'm in, I never want to get out. My sister's toddler had a full-on meltdown because his pasta was taking too long to cook. When it was done he didn't want it. Also, he took a dump under their bed that day. I miss being able to fit under my bed. Being a kid was rad. My nephew is 4. His latest thing has been his pooping corner. He has been potty trained for a while now, like 1.5 years. He has decided that he doesn't like the bathroom anymore for pooping. But peeing is fine. I don't know, kids are silly. He will go into the hallway and will poop there. He will squat down and just start pooping. But if you walk in on him pooping or watch him from the living room, he will hold out his hand to block you from seeing him. This doesn't really work when you're 20 feet away. If you watch him, he will throw himself on the ground and start crying while pooping. He will only do that at home. He has not problem using the bathroom anywhere else. I think it's the most toddler thing ever and cried the first time I saw it. My sister doesn't find it funny and is beside herself with what to do. When my son was being potty trained he refused to poop in any toilet or potty. At one time he was on our concrete patio and I saw him go behind the patio furniture with a 1,000-yard stare. I asked if he had to poop. He said yes, but refused to go into the bathroom to go. I asked if I could at least put newspaper down to make it easy to clean up. He agreed. When my wife returned home that evening she asked how the day went. I responded that her child was now paper trained, so pretty good day. The other day I had an argument with my 2-year-old because the stickers on his monster truck were actually stuck. He did not like this and apparently doesn't appreciate the point of stickers. My niece is like 2 years old and I picked up in her little rocking horse thing and flew her around the room last weekend. She definitely enjoyed because she kept looking at me and yelling up. I made that horse fly around until my arms couldn't handle it anymore. Apparently she has been yelling up at all adults since I left and then crying/screaming when she doesn't get flown around. Sorry, I put my kid on the cat tree because he asked for it and that was a huge mistake. He wanted up on the cat tree at every opportunity, especially the minute I got home from work. Took a week to break him of that, but he sure wasn't happy that entire week. She got put in timeout for hitting her baby sister. She did perfectly fine through the whole time, but when I told her she was all done, she collapsed on the ground crying. Why? I want more timeout. Hit the sister again. My 2-year-old son has been eating only his pink colored Play-Doh. He doesn't put any other foreign objects in his mouth. I had to hide from his set every shade of red because he learned mixing white will make pink. It's been a full blowout every morning with him asking for red Play-Doh. He's going figure out that he can color white with red magic markers. I was missing some crayons from my kid's coloring box. Found out what happened to them when I changed my son's nappy, and he had produced a perfectly formed red and black striped turd. Congratulations, you have a future Marine.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.